Hello! That's right, the Crunchyroll Awards judge was none other than Kodilda! It was me. What's up everyone, I'm your female otaku and I'm here to tell you my experience as one of 23 Crunchyroll Anime Awards judges. I asked you guys to send me questions regarding the judging process and, nomination process and stuff like that for the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, and I'm happy to give you guys an insight. But before I answer some questions, let me just give you a whole general explanation as to what the judging process is like and how I even became a judge in the first place. I was actually contacted by the famous Miles from Crunchyroll in like late November, and he asked me if I wanted to be a judge for the Crunchyroll Anime Awards because he and Crunchyroll have been eyeing my content for the past year. I'm pretty sure that has to do with my Devilman Crybaby video because that video blew up and got even way more views than some of the leading AniTubers videos, which I'm still quite shocked about. But I'm not here to brag about myself, I'm just trying to provide an explanation as to why they would even watch my content in the first place. So I accepted and I signed a contract saying, and this is the most important part, that we were not allowed to discuss who we are voting for in the judging process with the other judges. AKA, I never spoke with the other judges. I didn't even know who the other judges were until they were revealed on Crunchyroll's website. For those of you who don't know, this is Crunchyroll's third year doing the Anime Awards, and they have changed their judging process year after year. If you want to know what the first year judging process was like, I highly recommend checking out Glass Reflection Arcada's video on it, as he was one of, I think, 13 judges? I don't really remember, but I'll leave a link in the description to that video. Miles from Crunchyroll is in it as well, as they give their complaints on how the original judging process was like. I don't know anything about how last year's judging process was, so I do apologize, I cannot provide any information about that, but let's continue on with this year's. How it worked with round one of the judging process is that we were each given a Google Doc and each given 25 points, and we were supposed to distribute our points within each category of every single anime listed. So for example, when it came to like the anime of the year category, we were given 25 points. So I could either use all of my 25 points on one anime, so let's say Violet Evergarden. I could refuse to use any of my points for that category, so I, choose to void from voting from that category in general, or I could maybe distribute it evenly, or maybe favor one anime over the other. So let's say I decide to give 25 points to Violet Evergarden, 5 points to After the Rain, 2 points to Agretzko, 3 points to Megalobox, something like that, And it was like that for every single category. I remember in round one, the only category I decided to not vote at all for was Best Character Design. We were given a month to turn in our votes so that we were able to give, we were given a chance to watch all the anime that was listed in the doc. And when I say all the anime, dude, I mean all the anime. There was a lot, including movies, oddly enough, which I didn't really think was fair that they put movies and anime in the same categories, including Best Character Design. I really didn't think that was fair. But you also had the anime that came out the year prior, like Kakegurui and Fate Apocrypha. We were allowed to vote for those series because they were available legally, this past year. Afterwards, we went on to round two of judging, where we were given the top 12 anime that all of us judges voted for, and then we once again were given 25 points and we distributed those points. I was actually very, very shocked at how it was originally going to go down because Boku no Hero Academia was voted a lot for every single category, like twice. I remember with Best Boy, both Izuku and Bakugo were in the running to be in the official nominees for the awards. So when I saw that, I knew I had to do something about it. Otherwise, everyone would flip. I actually also messaged Crunchyroll saying, hey, I really don't think it's fair to continue nominating characters that were already introduced in previous years. Like All Might was, I remember, nominated for something, as well as, Izuku and Bakugo. They were nominated for these categories that didn't seem fair because we were already introduced to them. Now, if it was, of course, you know, like All for One, then it would make sense to vote for him because he's a new character that was introduced in 2018. Sure, it was a sequel series, but he was a new character in that sequel series for 2018, making sense to vote for him. So I mentioned that to them and they said that they actually have considered it, but they decided against it and are going to reconsider it again for next year. So after we voted during round 2, then that's when the nominees were released to you guys, and you guys were able to vote, and we still had time to vote for ourselves, just like you guys. So for the final round, round 3 of voting, this is during the time when you guys had your chance to vote. The judges, we also could vote, but this time only distribute 1 point per category, and our vote counted as 50% of the entirety of the vote. You know, this is to mediate any other Yuri on Ice incidents. Anyway, at the time I'm making this video, I have already casted my votes and I have no idea what the fans have voted for or what the other judges have voted for. I have never once contacted the other judges and I have absolutely no idea as to what the fans have voted, you know, the majority of for each category. No one showed us. No one showed me, no one showed the other judges. Just letting you know. It'll all be revealed to me for the first time when the ceremony premieres in like a few days. It's supposed to be February 16th, which is a Saturday. I don't know when I'm gonna upload this. I don't know if it's gonna be uploaded on the day of the ceremony, afterwards, a day before. Not too sure, but just letting you guys know. All right, now that I explained to you the judging process, let's go over your questions. Was there any arguing between the judges? I'm gonna be skipping a lot of these types of questions because, as I told you, we were not allowed to talk to each other and I had no idea who the other judges are. I literally don't even know who they work for. I don't know if some of them work for Crunchyroll or if some of them are anime-bloggers or other like anime-tubers. I have absolutely no clue who these guys are. How did Agretsuko's OP make it over almost anything else? Gotta ask the hard questions here. I never voted for Agretsuko's opening. I have no idea what the other judges were thinking, but again, I'm just gonna start, you know, skipping over these types of questions. Why didn't Bananafish receive more nominations? Okay, this I actually have an answer for. Because there are only 23 of us judges, you know, not all of us judges have seen everything that came out. For example, I never finished Bananafish, not because I think it's bad, but because it's very hard to watch. So I didn't nominate Bananafish for anything, simply because I felt it was unfit for me to nominate Bananafish for anything. As for the other judges, I don't know what they've watched this past year. For all I know, they're actually casuals and have only seen the more popular series. That is debatable though, as this year's Anime Awards is a lot more diverse than previous years, because instead of there being one anime series dominating every single category, we have roughly 5 or like 4, something like that. We have Megalobox, Violet Evergarden, Agretsuko, Boku no Hero, and I think there's one other series, it's escaping my mind, but those following series have been nominated the most. So I would say that this year's Crunchyroll Anime Awards is much better than previous years, despite what other people say. Because remember, it could have been a lot worse with Boku no Hero being voted twice for every single category. But that's none of my business. Where is 02 in the Best Girl category? She seems to be missing. Yeah, no, I have no idea what happened there, my man. I voted for 02. I guess no one else watched Darling in the Franxx? I don't know. This is one of the main problems with the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. I understand why they didn't want us judges talking to one another so that we don't influence one another to vote for a particular anime. However, I do think it properly outs out the judges who didn't watch that many series this past year. Again, I have no idea who these guys are or who they work for and what they mainly write about or talk about. I don't know, but clearly they're not all like me where they watch a ton of series. I'm an anime-tuber. I have to watch a ton of series. I love to watch a ton of series, but not all of them are like me. And that's understandable. Just get judges who do watch a lot of anime series. Do you have any choice on the nominees, or judge is just a title? No, I did. The nominees are there because of me and the other judges. You know, like I said, you know, we voted in each and every single round so that we can give you guys what we have for you now, the final nominees, the official nominees, as well as getting 50% of the final vote to see who takes the win. Will you want to continue being a judge for the Anime Awards? I know Arcada didn't get to become a judge after his first year, and instead they called him back to be a presenter for the second year as well as the third year, so maybe they'll do the same for me. I don't really know. I don't know if these other judges were also the judges last year and the year before. I have no idea, but I would like to continue to be an anime judge, as I do think I contributed a big part into the Anime Awards to make sure that it was diverse, you know? I mean, After the Rain made it into the final nominees, like, dude, I'm so happy After the Rain made it. Why wasn't Makuya When the Promised Flower Blooms nominated for Best Film? That's actually pretty easy to answer. That's not us judges' fault, although at least I, you know, watch a lot of anime series. 11 Arts, who are the licensors of Makuya, they are absolutely horrible advertisers. For whatever reason, they do not advertise or, you know, show commercials, show up on a bunch of social media and stuff to promote their films. You mainly hear it through word of mouth, like through other YouTubers or, you know, other anime bloggers, but it's not enough. You know, if you follow up with G-Kids, you probably see their ads pop up on Instagram or on Twitter. You know, they have actual commercials. They show up to a ton of conventions. 11 Arts doesn't do that. So, to be honest, I didn't know Makuya existed till much later. So, I have to say here, please don't blame that on the judges. Blame that on 11 Arts for not really getting the word out about their film in the first place. What were your personal picks for each category? Anything you would change the nominees to add a new one? I would take out all the Boku no Hero nominees, to be honest. I'll take them all out. Okay, that needs to be done. We need to stop that. But what were my personal picks for each category? I don't really remember off the top of my head for each specific category, but I will say this. Most of my votes went towards either Violet Evergarden, After the Rain, Agretzko. I voted for Comic Girls here and there for certain categories. Tia Ballard, oh my gosh, when Tia Ballard tweeted, "Thank you guys for, you know, nominating me," I was like, that was me, honey. I nominated you. Cause your performance for Zero Two was so good. Oh, that lit up my day, honestly. I love her. How did it feel to be a judge for this particular event? Well, you know, it felt really good at first because I won't say I'm disappointed in being a judge. It's just, it wasn't at all what I was thinking. This is a new system that they're trying, and I do think it's a good system. I do like the whole ballot/point system that they did. I just really wish that I was able to speak with the other judges. And also, I really wish they paid for my flight and my hotel to make it to the Anime Awards, instead of just paying for my VIP ticket to the actual awards ceremony. Because I live in Jersey and all that stuff is expensive, so I'm not attending the awards, and that's just sad. It's like, wow, you pay the presenters to present the awards, but I'm the one who was able to judge the awards in the first place, so why don't I get a free trip? Anyway, that's all the questions I'll be answering for this video. I might answer a few questions in the comments, so if you have any questions or suggestions on the Anime Awards, I do recommend contacting Crunchyroll because your complaints matter. Crunchyroll listens to you guys, okay? Because of you guys, they were able to add a better judging system. They also added new categories, took out some that they thought didn't really belong to be there anymore and stuff like that. So your complaints matter. I highly, highly, highly recommend to keep on complaining to Crunchyroll so that we can get the best anime awards possible. Obviously, in the end, not everyone's going to be happy with the final result. There's always going to be a complaint, but personally, I do believe that this is the best award show yet, but it's not perfect. We'll get there. Special shout out to Chang Musty and Giovanni Herrera for donating to my Patreon. If you would like a very special shout out in the next video stream or what have you, then please click on the Patreon link in the description to donate, as well as clicking on the links to my social media to keep up with whatever the heck I have to post, like cosplay, updates, sneak peeks on videos, all this other stuff that I'm saying just to stall time. I'm your female otaku. Sayonara.